can you tell me what happened last night?
Yeah, and fire's no problem? I could...
No, fire's no problem.
Okay.
I'll move around anyway.
Oh, okay. Well,
Where do you want to start?
yeah,
Well,
did
start with the decision to go out there and why we went out there and
Yeah.
what you were looking to find.
we're looking for a place. We heard noises out that way. We thought it would be nice to sit out there with a thermal, and we did, and I think you got some video of that.
I've got some video of us sitting out there in the dark,
Yeah,
barely. So
yeah. So we were there from about dusk till
Well, we came back at 11.
11. Yep. And it was not. I don't know. We heard.
I think we heard a total of maybe 3 or 4 knocks.
Yeah, between us, but not everybody heard everything, and it was all very distant.
Yeah.
But then when after you came back, and then Will and I returned for another hour, we're sitting there, and it's very quiet, nothing going on. We stepped back from the creek so that we thought maybe we could hear better, not so close to the creek. And then after a while, I heard this strange, well, at first strange sound. I didn't recognize it. And then finally I did, and I thought, no, that's not what I'm hearing. And I asked Will, are you listening to headphones right now?
See, I was thinking the same thing. I thought Adrian,
I'll take it.
Aaron
It's my
was
new nickname.
Aaron was doing the same thing, playing on his phone or something.
Mm-hmm.
Kept hearing like a radio playing.
Yeah.
Or something.
So basically, we heard the very distant bass pattern from somebody out there just rocking out. And it's kind of a mystery where they are. I mean, we know they're not up. I guess we should double check, but I don't think they're at Camp 6 or 7. So they're going to be over a mile away that way. And I don't even know. I mean, we got to find out. My theory was maybe they're up there because there is another road, Highline Drive, on the ridge, and that maybe if they were on a prominent point, that would somehow carry. But I don't know, as I think about it, maybe they're further up the creek. But the creek is loud and it's winding, so it's a little surprising that the noise would carry from anywhere to where we were at. But in my mind, I can just associate whatever the strange sound like metal shaking must have something to do with those campers. And even though it seemed too far away, clearly we heard their music at night. So it kind of solves it for me enough to not be mystified.
did you see anything on the thermal?
Nothing. Not a deer, not a mouse, not an owl. Nothing. Nothing. Which was weird. Because that whole hillside was burned out. I mean, you could see through all the trees and all that. There was nothing moving up on it.
I'm just thinking out loud now, maybe they avoid it because they know it's, maybe animals in general avoid that because they know they're visible.
But I think after, what was it, the first knock we heard, it was kind of like a loud crack sound. Probably, 45 minutes or so, hour after that. I was not really concerned about what's on the mountain. I was more concerned of what was behind us because I just kept getting that chill up my spine, like, I should be looking behind me and, not in the other direction. I was assuming whatever made the so-called knock sound could have circled and doubled back behind us. So, yeah, I was getting a little on edge a couple hours in.
It would have been easy for any animal to see us when we turn a flashlight on and just say, oh, because we were between the road and we were sitting on the edge of the creeks, and with the assumption something's coming down the creek corridor, but it could have just seen us, hopped up on the road, and gone right around us. So, because also we know there's likely to be a bear in the area from talking to those other campers, and maybe that was coming down the way too, and we kind of sensed that.
Now, did you guys hear anything while you were sleeping last night?
I think I may have heard a whistle, but I think it was around 3:45, 4 in the morning, somewhere in there. So I can't rule out a bird, but it was loud, and it was coming from this direction. So
Top of the hill.
yeah. Had audio running, so it should be on there.
Yeah, I should mention I got a recorder up at the top of the hill, so I'm hoping it'll maybe get a better angle on whatever that, all that stuff is, and can start to figure out if there are campers up there, and some of the knocks we thought we heard, maybe it'll get it more distinctly. It should get that whistle.
So what do you guys think of that kids report, the college kids?
Well, my first impression hearing the stories, the second kid showed me on his tent where he had something pressed into his tent, and we took a measurement of all that, and it's not. I was assuming, let's say if it was a Sasquatch, I figured the top of the tent would be getting pressed down, but it was like about yay high, which would be a good spot for a bear's nose to go press in. He said he did hear sniffing sounds. He said he heard a growl, which could be, a black bear or something. They did describe seeing some holes that weren't there before, dug into the ground, and there does appear to look like there could be some claw marks in there, which could be a small bear, or could have been their dog also digging holes. Who knows? But they had one story where the two guys went down to the lake to go fishing and left the girls at camp, and the girls were hearing knocks just outside of camp, and I've heard that mentioned a lot with women being left alone, Bigfoot activity increases. So I don't know. My gut's telling me they probably had a bear in their camp, but what the girls experienced, I don't know. That's my thought.
Yeah, I had more or less the same thought. But they, when they knew we're interested in Bigfoot, and they also have, listened to podcasts and been interested in the subject. You don't know the power of suggestion either, but if because at first they said, well, it sounded like something breathing. It's like, oh, it could have been a growl, so it's hard to know unless you're them. But like you said, probably there's a bear, and there could also be Bigfoot around, because again, we know it's an area where that's been reported before, and we have been hearing these knocks, and they're very nice young men and ladies. Really kind of them to talk to us twice and give us all those details. They seem very sincere. I don't think they're making anything up.
I'm going to talk about what we were talking about yesterday, Will, the idea of camping close to the creek and why, and then putting our audio recorders further away from the creek.
Well, it seems like all the reports that I've heard so far of people having experiences either with their tents being touched, whistles, tracks, visual sightings, all that seems to be right on the creek. Not getting.
Just going potty, I think. Hello.
Dad here?
Yeah!
Oh.
Dad,
What's going on?
Grandma's going to the hospital.
Oh,
Oh
man.
no.
So Marshall had the split early. His son drove up and gave him some news, so he had a split. He has a little family emergency. So if you guys wouldn't mind, keep Marshall and his family in your prayers. So we're heading up this way. All the way up.
Maybe I'll show you our destination. Yeah. Straight there, there's a dead tree with a lot of black branches.
Okay.
And you can tell it sort of broke off quite a ways up. Straight where I'm pointing at. And then the recorder is maybe 20 or 30 yards up behind that.
Cool.
But once we get to the ridge, there's a trail going all the way along it that we'll just follow.
Sweet.
So pretty much just get up to the top and
All right.
find the trail.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I see some of my prints.
Well, we made it up the ridge. All the way just to get that recorder.
Guess I'll get it. Several innovations. So last time I had it, I set it on the ground with the cords coming out here.
Right.
But a mouse chewed that up. I don't know if that made it to the video or not. And I was reminded several times that I was warned that might happen. So, this time I poked holes. Proud that I did this myself. The audio thing's in here. Microphone's hanging out the bottom.
Smart idea.
Yeah, and then I just carry a nail so I can put it wherever I want. I don't have to find a branch. Innovations I want to do for next time. I want to move these holes in. So with this, there could be a little water getting on them. So move them in an inch towards the middle.
Right.
Which I have to get into why I kind of screwed up the order. You want to drill those holes and then this hole and put all the cords in after you got the holes. I ended up using a lighter to weaken it and poking a screwdriver through. Then I want to put a notch right here so that it'll hang perfectly. You'll notice this time it's kind of hanging like that,
right,
easily. But it's a nice deal. And then you look inside. I've got my extra batteries. But here's a recorder. Seems to be right. Let me go to the menu. Oh, it's on hold. Home. Recorder. Folder A. Nice, yeah. Recorded the last couple nights.
Nice.
So I'll be able to listen out when I get home, although I may leave this one out because with these, and I gotta give thanks to Nathan Bronis, he made this thing originally. This, I got 40 nights worth using this and about 8-hour nights. So I think I'll set it up somewhere on the way home and then go get it in a month.
Nice.
Now I'm going to take a minute to get that nail out. You just got to be careful, you know, you can't set it down flat.
Right.
These are like $200 speakers, maybe overkill, I don't know.
Okay. Just made it back from the hike up the hill. Doesn't look that bad until you start actually climbing it.
I'd say, you know, coming down would be easier, but it's definitely quicker, but with the vegetation and the loose ground, still a little tricky. Mission accomplished though. Got the recorder and back in camp.
So right now I'm sitting in camp by myself. It's just super quiet out here. It's nice. Aaron right now is in town. He had some errands to run. So once he gets back, we are going to drive down to Sullivan Lake and check out a couple trails and check some of the shorelines and the creeks for any possible tracks of that kind. But that won't be until probably about 2 maybe. So right now I'm just kind of chilling in camp. Just ate lunch. Kind of letting the fire die down. I'm going to start packing up camp later tonight. We got a good chance of a rainstorm that's supposed to hit us sometime tonight. And I really don't want to have to pack up everything that I have in a rainstorm. So I'm going to do a majority of packing up tonight. So the only thing I'd have to throw in the car in the morning will be my tent and my cot. Yeah, so it's been good. It's been a good trip out here. Did a lot of hiking, a lot of exploring. Did hear a few things. We definitely heard a few knocks. I'm not sure if they're on the audio recorders or not. I'm sure some of them are. Nothing on thermal. Nothing major that I can say that happened around camp. But could be, you know, a little early in the season for a lot of activity. I'm usually not out at, you know, the first week in April. Usually we're still, you know, covered in snow and stuff like that, but we've had an unusual winter. So yeah, I can't remember the last time I was out camping first week of April. I think by May, activity will probably pick up. It's usually the pattern. Yeah, Marshall and I were discussing that all the reports we've gotten from people who have camped up here on Sullivan Creek have had activity, but their campsite was right next to the creek. I don't think I've gotten any stories from anybody who was who was camping across the road away from the creek. It's always been the people on the creek, which makes me wonder if they're using the creeks to travel through. I don't know. Guess time will tell.
Yeah, definitely never leave anyone in camp for too long by themselves because odd things happen. Made myself a Bigfoot. I'm going to give it to Aaron when he gets back. It's in the bear box.
Oh.
It's cute. It's for good luck. It's a Bigfoot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Never leave someone in camp for too long.
Can I keep it, really?
Oh, I don't care.
It's nice. Maybe we should leave it out ominously in a tree somewhere.
Scare the crap out of people.
So Aaron's taking the other side of this stream. This is Harvey Creek. It flows right into Sullivan Lake. So we're down here looking for any possible tracks. So he's taking that side, taking this side. Well, all I'm seeing right now are boot tracks, dog, deer, some turkey tracks, but nothing that screams Sasquatch. Well, this is the only thing that kind of jumped out at me, is this outline, but I'll have Aaron look at it later. Marked it with a stick, come back to it. Well, we got looks like maybe something. I mean, it's not very big. I mean, I'm just not seeing any more. Yeah, pretty much all I'm seeing out here is dog, human, turkey, geese. That's pretty much it. Maybe a couple elk tracks, but yeah, nothing more really. Good luck.
Deer and looks like 3 people walking around together.
Wonder if there's anything out there.
I know there used to be a very active beaver there.
Oh, really? Can't even be up here. See any trail cams?
So at this point, I'm going to have to stop the video of our trip to Sullivan Lake because what happened next requires a completely different video. There's a few things that occurred that needs to be broken down and explained. So expect to see that in a new video coming soon. So we ended up heading back to camp, and this is where the rest of the video will take place. Okay, this is our last night camping here on Sullivan Creek. So far it's been fairly quiet. We did hear something moving a lot of brush up on the hillside or across the road. Can't be really too sure. I think that's all that's happened so far. So we're just going to sit in the dark next to the campfire, see what plays out tonight. Okay, at 9:58, Aaron just did a knock. We immediately got a response knock across the creek. And Aaron just pointed out that we have a marsh, little marshy area right across the road from us. And the frogs have been going, doing their normal things every night. There's no frogs right now. It's quiet. You were right, Marshall. You leave, the activity picks up. Well, after that knock, we had about 30 minutes of silence, but now the frogs are croaking again. So maybe whatever was here moved on. The air feels a little lighter. I don't know if that means anything, but definitely feels different.
Do you hear something up there?
You?
I heard a small movement. I'm thinking I'm not so warm by the fire, but then I step away from it.
Okay, so it's about 11:20 p.m. Activity seemed to die off a little bit. We haven't heard anything else, so we decided to turn it in. We had a long day, so we're off to bed now. I'm beginning to hear some rain hitting the top of my tent, so we're supposed to have a storm tonight, but hopefully it passes, because we're breaking down camp tomorrow morning, so nothing worse than packing up in the rain. But right now we have 3 audio recorders running right now. So one out towards the main road, another one in Aaron's camp, and another one here in my camp. So if anything happens, we should capture it at least on audio. So and if anything happens tonight, I'll get the camera rolling. So see you guys in the morning, hopefully. Well, I'm all packed up, and Aaron is still sleeping, so I don't want to disturb him. I'm going to let him sleep in a little, but it's time to head home. So last night when I went to bed, about maybe 10 minutes after I got in my tent and laid down, I heard what sounded like a rock possibly hitting a tree. I heard an impact on a tree, and I heard whatever hit the tree land on the ground and roll through the brush. So that was just outside of my camp. That's the only thing I remember hearing before I fell asleep, but had audio running all night, so hopefully there's more on there. So until I have all the audio reviewed, you guys will probably be seeing that in another video. But for right now, I'm ready for a shower, see my wife, and get home. We'll see you guys in the next video, I guess. Take it easy. Keep it real.